Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Gaining Perspective with Cody Armstrong. I'm your host, Cody Armstrong, and today's episode is about understanding yourself. And the reason why I'm doing this episode, or that topic today, is because that's kind of what we constantly do on a day-to-day basis, and that's what you do from the time that you're born to the time that you die. And so the reason why this is kind of a bigger I guess it's a big topic for me because I'm constantly going through it. I mean, every topic I talk about is, again, it's a big topic for me. Just because, again, I only have my own perspective. I'm trying to gain perspective, see what other people think out there, and more so. Obviously, if I don't get a lot of feedback from you guys, that's fine. That's kind of the ideal perspective I want, but I gain perspective throughout social media, obviously the internet, just various sources, whether it's news outlets, sometimes just regular old social media like Facebook. Um, Anything that's pretty popular, I kind of, I'll take it in, see what it's all about, and see if it's going to kind of change my mind or change my perspective on something. Um, so the biggest thing, the reason why I'm doing understanding yourself is because I feel that as a person, we're constantly, pretty much constantly told that we kind of have to do things as a societal norm. And, I actually came across a video the other day of this foreign man doing, like, I don't know what kind of like presentation he was doing, but he was talking to an audience, just a diverse audience of like just different. It was actually mostly a woman crowd, but I guess they were all of the same ethnicity. Kind of looked Filipino, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is what his message was, which was he basically said that you know there's really not anybody else to blame but yourself in the regard of how you feel. What that means is like I think we see this a lot in today's society is and by today's society I do mean like 2017, maybe like the past 5 years, something like that, where we have people who are constantly offended, I guess, or triggered, or whatever you want to call it, and people are constantly offended and all this stuff, and some people are like, oh, it's so annoying that they're so offended by such stupid stuff, or um, I don't know. To me, it doesn't come off as it's annoying. I can see how it would be annoying, but it comes off as like I kind of see it as like a person is taking something in, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be outright, I guess like criticism or negativity. It doesn't have to be any of that toward them. Sometimes people are outraged for others, and honestly, I feel like the kind of a big part of the black community does this a lot. And this isn't pointing fingers or anything. This is just pointing out something. But it's you know, actually it's not even just like black community. It's probably a lot of other ethnic groups as well. And what I mean by that is like they get offended when they hear something like those people or um, you know your people, that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it doesn't come at them in a derogatory sense. Like I don't know, and it is true. Minorities struggle in this country a lot. Maybe not as much as in other countries, because I know Japan's pretty heavy on like bigotry and stuff. Not like mostly specifically toward Chinese. But either way, what I'm really trying to get at here is like we kind of take in things that people say. And this guy's message on this video, and I'm not great about citing sources and stuff like that. I just caught this glimpse. I actually shared the video, if you follow me at all. But I shared the video on my Facebook, put it out there. It's just a man talking about why, like, you'll take criticisms from your closest friends and family, and you'll constantly feel these pressures on you. But the thing is like you take it in, and we're kind of taught in a way that like, oh, you have to act normal, oh, you have to behave a certain way, and oh, this and that. But it doesn't really work like that if you really think about it. As a human, you're constantly learning, and there is no normal. Like, it's really non-existent. So when it comes down to it, is like when people are actually taking something in, they're processing it uniquely to them. And so that's the biggest thing, is that you'll see a lot of self-victimization going on around you. You'll see a lot of like self-doubt, self-worry, this kind of stuff. And that's the thing, is like people don't look at themselves in these moments. They don't look at who they are or what they're doing. Either because like they just are oblivious to it, or the simple fact that they don't want to. I take long, hard looks at myself, and I constantly look at, flaws. I look at what I could do better, how I want to be better, what I should do to be better. I do these podcasts because, half of it's for my benefit. I'm getting my own thoughts out here, and I'm trying to see if anybody else either agrees or what other kind of thoughts people have, either about what I'm saying or if they want to add on to what I'm saying. And again, this is just kind of a domino chain effect, because I watched this video of this guy talking about your interpretation is all on you, like, and it got me thinking. And I think that's what's incredible about humanity, is we're constantly learning, we're constantly thinking, and what I think we should be constantly doing is constantly self-reflecting, causing us to be a bigger and better person constantly, because if we do that, then the world can start to grow. So when people get offended, I don't mind. I also understand that people try to play the system, and they try to self-victimize. If they hear something like, oh, I hate these kind of people, and then they immediately they know that they, if they're of any ethnicity at all, like if a white person was like, what do you mean you hate these people? You mean white people? It doesn't come off in the same effect. But if it's somebody of a certain ethnicity, and like a white person says, God, I hate these people, and they could be talking about like, maybe you're just being a douche, or something like that. I'm not really defending, like, again, something derogatory as like hatred toward a person. Anything like that is I find asinine. It's pointless. Because again, if you're letting somebody else affect you, you're taking it in, and who's to blame but yourself? It doesn't mean like if somebody's just full on attacking you, it's like, oh, it's just me being crazy. I'm just taking it wrong. No, if somebody's actually full on attacking you, but that's pretty obvious. In this circumstance I'm talking about is like people can self-victimize all the time. People do manipulate the system to do that, and they do get others to feel sorry for them. It's not like every homeless person on the street corner is actually homeless. It doesn't mean that the majority aren't. It doesn't mean that they don't have problems. And if they're manipulating the system, and that's their day job, that's how they make money, cool. Then I give money to people who want to stand on corners as a job. And people think that that's stupid. But that's a whole other tangent. I'm really just kind of focusing on why it's important to really understand who you are. So, I guess I don't really have many questions around this video to you, the audience, but I do just want to leave you with like one thought of, well, maybe not a thought, but just like a request. I want you to self-reflect on who you are and why you do the things you do, and why you take things in an offensive way, and what you could do to either be better about it, or what do you think you could do to change it. Like change what's around you, change your perception of things, self-reflect, anything. But in other news, I actually have a friend who is struggling with depression, like very heavily crippling depression. And he's dealing with suicidal ideations and thoughts. And I've been there, and it's not fun, obviously. Many people have been there, if not everyone at one point in their life. But the thing is I hope that each and every person that watches this video, each and every person that listens to this podcast, I hope you at least understand that you do make an impact on people's lives. You matter because the second you're born, you've already made the impact on somebody's life, and that's your parents. But as you grow and you connect with more people, it's almost like it's kind of like a spider web. You start off like kind of small, and then you start branching out, and people kind of get caught in your web of caring about you. They like you. They trust you. They want to be friends with you. Maybe they want to be like a partner with you on something, like either maybe in a relationship, as a friendship, a business partner. Just there's a multitude of things that happen when you meet new people and you like people and you get to know them, and you don't really fully understand your own impact on people. I even to this day, I don't. And I struggle with that. And depression kind of does that to you also. So this is obviously just a side note on understanding yourself, but I hope that people out there understand that, and especially my friend who's struggling with depression. I hope you guys all understand that your impact is not small. That's why suicide hurts. It hurts a lot of people. Yes, people go on living because they don't know what else to do. But if you ever think that you're gone and you're just forgotten about, it's not true. It doesn't matter if you've made a pop culture impact. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to kind of shape other people's lives. We're here to teach other people. We're here to learn from other people. We're here to, and if you're lucky enough to be a parent, then you're lucky enough to bring a new life in, and then help shape them and help them becoming an impactful member of society. So I just kind of want to leave you with that. Just really realize the scope of your impact, or at least try to understand that you do matter, and no one can take away who you are. And the only person really kind of going through the motions of not caring about you is you. And that's because of depression. That's because of the stresses of life and the stresses of others around you, and how you're kind of taking it in and feeling about it. That doesn't mean bullying doesn't affect people. Doesn't mean, being harsh or overly critical to some people doesn't affect you. But, yes, we all have to learn to love ourselves, and but we should also learn to love each other. So all I can really say is, I'm going to wrap it up right now. It's a 15-minute podcast, vice my 10, but all I can say is, just it really does come down to self-reflection, learning to love who you are for what you are, see what you bring to the table. Just think about what you bring to the table. Are you a good singer? Are you good at cooking? Are you a jack of all trades and a master of none, or are you a master of one thing and just okay at other things? That's kind of how I feel like people should look at life, because maybe none of us are masters at things. Obviously we see athletes and we see those people and they've mastered one craft. Some people are lucky enough to master multiple and in their lifetime. And I mean, you think about how much time you're given on this planet, it's a lot. And as far as like heaven or hell goes, I mean, we don't know. This is why we do the things we do. This is why I do these podcasts, because I'm searching. I'm searching for any and all of you out there who might think the same way, but I'm also searching for people who think differently. So I want you to change my perspective. I want you to gain some perspective from me. And I want us to continue building, and, overall, I just like everybody to be good to each other. And I'd really love for everyone to have the opportunity to really fully love and appreciate themselves. So I'll leave you guys with that. Like I said, just think about, a request is to simply self-reflect and think about your impact. All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.